Welcome to The Other Side of the Page, a bookish podcast where we yap about the books we love
and the songs that give us main character energy.
We're here to sift through the chaos that is our TBR.
And to let you know why a book might just be your next favorite read.
I'm Britt, dramatic plot twist lover and champion for MMCs needing to be more pathetic and down bad.
And I'm Hannah, reader of at least 5 books at once and a detailed fantasy map enthusiast.
Every other Wednesday, we will explain in a moment, press play on a brand new bookish episode.
Yes, and stay up to date with the books we'll be covering by following us on social media at othersideofthepagepod, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads.
Yes, and don't forget to follow, rate, and review the podcast a shining 5 stars on your preferred platform because it helps us so much with visibility.
Yes, and this week starts our summer schedule. So
Yes.
Like Britt said earlier, it'll be every other Wednesday we will be coming to you with a brand new episode.
Yes.
And this week, we get to talk about It's Not Her by Mary Kubica.
Yes, we will be talking about our song choices alongside of the plot, chatting about our favorite moments. And if you guys have been around for a while, one of our very first episodes was Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. So this feels like a full circle moment here. Mm-hmm. So grab yourselves an iced coffee
or iced chai
and let's turn the page together.
Dear reader, here's a synopsis of the book. Courtney Gray's peaceful vacation turns into a nightmare when she discovers her brother and sister-in-law dead in their lakeside cottage. Her niece Reese is missing. Niece Reese. And there's a thumbs down. Pause real quick. For those of you that are not watching on YouTube, my MacBook does like reactions and I just like unintentionally put a thumbs down right here. Yep. Anyway, so her niece Reese is missing and her nephew Wyatt is asleep upstairs unharmed. A town full of secrets. As police swarm the quiet resort, dark truths about Courtney's family and the town itself begin to surface. Is Reese a victim or the killer? A truth no one saw coming. With everyone hiding something, Courtney races to uncover the terrible mystery. But the closer she gets, the harder to know who or what to trust.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we think you should read this book if you want a story that will have you questioning who is telling the truth and ending in true Kubica fashion that makes you say, OMG, what?
Exactly.
Wait, what?
No, literally, what? What?
Yeah.
And we think that you might want to avoid this book if any of the following are potentially triggering for you. So murder, death of a parent, blood, kidnapping, an adult minor relationship. And I struggle to call that a relationship, but, situation. Mm-hmm. Sexual assault, suicidal thoughts, drug use, and bullying. So as always, check your triggers. You know yourself best. And now we have our song choices. So what song do you have today?
I picked a song called, it's a vibe for the end of the movie. And once we talk about spoilers, I'll explain more. Okay. But the song I chose is Done All Wrong by Black Rebel Motorcycle Club.
Okay. I don't think I've ever heard this a day in my life, but I trust you.
I know you probably haven't because it's a soundtrack to a movie that I know you've never seen.
Amazing. Incredible. I picked a very teenage angsty song to kind of fit Reese's vibe, and I picked Welcome to My Life by Simple Plan.
It's so perfect. I can just hear her like listening to this on the way up to their resort.
Or like getting mad at her parents for listening to it while they're like singing along.
Yeah.
So now we're moving into our Pages Turned and Bridges Burned section, which means we will be discussing It's Not Her cover to cover, which means spoilers are ahead. So if you have not read the book, please pause now, go read it, listen, whatever you want to do, and come back once you have. Or if you've already read it, here for the vibes, welcome on in. Spoilers are ahead. And we're going to start with our theme lyrics from our songs.
Yes. So my theme lyrics are done me wrong, done all the wrong I've done. I'm sure I'll live quite long. And to me, this is the end after we find out, we already said spoilers, but we find out that Detective Evans is the one that killed Kylie.
Yes.
And then he's going to frame like his ex-best friend, you know?
Yep.
And just the vibe of the song, it's like, done all wrong. Like, I don't know. It's like it's just a vibe. And I can see like it just like kind of fading out into like the small town with the credits. Like, because he did wrong and he's going to live quite long.
Yeah.
But no one really knows that he's done wrong. So it's just like this cycle that he's going to keep living.
Yep. I have the very opening to Welcome to My Life because it feels quite appropriate for Reese, which is Do you ever feel like breaking down? Do you ever feel out of place? Like somehow you just don't belong and no one understands you? And it is very much a teenage angst. Reese is both characters are inherently like I don't want to venture to say unreliable necessarily, but both of them have their very skewed perspectives on like
Mm-hmm.
what we have going on. And Reese is in her everyone is out to get me, everyone hates me, the world is ending sort of stage of life. Granted, some of the behaviors, I understand why she feels that way. Like the way that she was treated, I get why she feels that way in comparison to her siblings and stuff like that. But this song just like all of the lyrics don't fit, but it was very much just a she is rocking out to this song sort of moment.
So the book jumps between narrators. We have Courtney in the present and Reese in the previous week and like leading up to the events. So
Yes.
kind of like you said, like they both have skewed perspectives. Like they're not necessarily unreliable, but they just know different things from different views.
Exactly.
But so we have Courtney, who, like we said in the synopsis, is on a lakeside vacation in Wisconsin with her family.
Yep.
And she hears her 10-year-old niece scream and like sees her running across from like their cottage to like her cottage, and she's covered in blood.
Yep.
And I was so mad at Courtney because she like stupidly leaves the girls, like, so her niece and her daughter in the cottage, and then goes to check on her brother, you know, in the other cottage.
Yep.
And she sees the bloody scene and where her like sister-in-law's body lies. And
Yep.
so I said stupidly because the girls follow her because they are young girls
Of
and
course
they're
they do.
like scared and
Terrified.
don't know what's going on. And so like Courtney's daughter Cass screams seeing like her uncle dead at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
And so Courtney's like, let's go, and like rushes them to the main lodge for help because you know what? There's no cell service.
Why would there be cell service? Why would there be? And then we end up jumping a week earlier and we get the first narration from Reese, who is Nolan and Emily's 17-year-old daughter. And as you can probably guess, Nolan and Emily are brother and sister in law. Her parents are fighting over their finances. Nolan is losing his job. Reese is texting her BFF Skylar, and she says she wants to KMS. She wants to KMS. If you don't know, kill myself. It is definitely like a colloquial, like not super serious thing.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, we do want to take mental health crises seriously. But in this case, it's very clear that she was texting it in a bout of frustration, not a bout of suicidal ideation.
Yeah.
But this is important for later because Reese and Emily continue to clash about sleeping and literally everything at this cabin they cannot agree on, and it's very clear that this is their how volatile their relationship is just from start to finish. And then she sees on social media that her best friend is hanging out with someone else while she's stuck on this quote unquote stupid family vacation, whatever she said, roughly around there. And she feels like jealous and abandoned, and she has hella FOMO, and like we all get it, we've been there, right? Now, then her mood changes when she meets a handsome young man named Daniel in the woods, which is a great place to meet men these days,
Right.
is
Yeah.
in the woods. So,
in a town that you don't know.
100% in, with no cell service.
Yeah.
It's great. It's amazing.
Right. So jumping back in the present time, the cops show up and they already went to the cottage and they bring back the little brother Wyatt, but Reese is missing. And the detective questions Courtney and is like, tell me more.
Yeah.
And like she does talk about the tension in the marriage between Nolan and Emily. And Courtney also recalls like an argument that Reese had with Emily, which Reese expressed that she wishes her mother would die. And then I think Courtney was like fearful that that would frame Reese as a suspect.
Yeah.
And I think as readers too, we're supposed to think that Reese is a suspect at this
100%.
point too. Like, oh, maybe she is because of the way she was acting before too. And then Courtney's husband returns, and his name is Elliot, from fishing, and is devastated by the news because obviously, right?
Of course. And I will say, I never once believed Reese was an actual suspect.
I didn't either, but I think that's where she was trying to lead a little bit.
Yes.
In that place.
I did, however, suspect Elliot.
Oh, 100%.
And that I thought was like I love that we got the evidence is supposed to point us toward Reese, but then she
Mhm.
starts throwing in these little pieces about Elliot that I'm like, what are we hiding?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on
And
here?
this, like, the detective questions the children, which I was like, dude, give them a break. Like, their
I know.
parents just died.
I know.
But Wyatt claims that he slept through the murders because his mom gave him a pink pill for his allergies.
Mhm.
And then May, the youngest one, mentions that Reese did meet a resort employee named Daniel,
Yep.
and he has a snake tattoo. And that Reese was crying one night telling Daniel that he was hurting and scaring her. And of course, to a 10-year-old, like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then Wyatt later that night, like, wakes Courtney up and shows Reese's location on Snapchat Snap Maps. And Courtney's like, I don't know if it's very reliable, but um, the detective decides to investigate the location.
Yes. And then we pop back in time again to Reese meeting Daniel in the woods for the first time, like where she's sneaking away, boy time, and they bond over dysfunctional families. And he asks her to meet him on the pier. And then they end up smoking some pot. They share a kiss, but fully unaware that her brother Wyatt is secretly recording them, following them around, looking at them to use as blackmail and as leverage, essentially, because Wyatt is the wild child of the family. It is not Reese. Wyatt
Mm-hmm.
is who is like gambling and selling drugs. And
He's like 14 too, I
he's
think. Yeah.
14. And, you know, they just cannot believe that their baby boy would do such a thing. And how dare Reese put out these accusations about her brother? Like, that is baseless. And so I really see where her resentment had started to
Oh,
build
totally.
for Emily specifically.
Yeah.
It's just, it really started to build up there. So Wyatt ends up extorting her, again, 14-year-old brother, and basically says, like, if she doesn't pay him, he's going to tell their parents that she snuck out and use the recording as evidence, which, here's the thing, would put him, like, would damn him in this situation for going out and following her. But
Mm-hmm.
because of the relationship and how rocky it is with Emily, there is a non-zero chance that she would side with Wyatt. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, which is just super cute and great. And his energy reminded me of like Lizzie McGuire's younger brother if he went like from pranking her with like a robotic car to like extorting her
Yeah.
for money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like it's almost more like, did you watch Phil of the Future and like his little
Yes.
sister? Or like
Yes.
Megan and Drake and Josh? Like,
Megan and Drake and Josh, if she was combined with the energy of Lizzie
yeah,
McGuire's brother.
that's true.
Yeah.
So the police searched the location that the snap map provided. And while during the search, Courtney meets a mother and father, Sam and Joanna Matthews, who they volunteered because their 11-year-old daughter, Kylie, disappeared 5 years earlier. And then Detective Emmett Evans does inform Courtney that Emily and Nolan died from blunt force trauma. And it's just like from Wyatt's baseball bat.
Yep.
Sketchy.
Very
Um,
sketchy.
and the detective also reveals that Daniel, who had the relationship with Reese, is 24 and has been missing from work for 2 days.
Yes.
So we're like, is it Daniel?
Yeah, what's going on here? And I feel like in these books, she does weave the suspicion in really well because immediately I was also suspicious of Sam and Joanna.
Mm-hmm.
I had a weird feeling about them. I still think the twists and turns got me in the end, especially the
Yeah.
very, very end. But I was looking at everyone like this. I was like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Now, here's the thing. Courtney's suspicion actually does start to turn toward her husband, Elliot, which she is like, wait, because she notices that there's blood on the shoes that he took when he went fishing. And everything that he's saying seems to be like a convenient excuse rather than a reasonable explanation. And
Mm-hmm.
so then the kicker is on Elliot's iPad specifically. She has pictures in his camera roll of Reese in a bikini. And she's like, why does my grown
Right?
adult husband have pictures of my underage niece in a bikini on his iPad? Why?
Yeah.
Why? And not only that, like this is also cuckoo because Wyatt's story is that he took an antihistamine and he was asleep and he slept through the entire event. But that night, Wyatt wakes up in his sleep, goes downstairs, and violently slaps Courtney across the face in his confusion, in his confused state. And it leaves a giant handprint, a giant like fingerprints on her face. And then that's the moment that we are meant to believe that, oh, fuck, maybe Wyatt is the one who did something.
Yeah. I know. And then we get back to Reese's perspective and just like her relationship's not the right word, her time with Daniel.
Yeah.
And Reese sees him flirt with another girl and she feels betrayed. And this is like, I feel like a ton of buildup, right? She already feels betrayed by her best friend. She's not getting along with her parents. She doesn't want to be here. And that night she wakes up to find Daniel has broken into the porch and he like threatens to like rape her at knife point.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, dude, calm down. And luckily she manages to get the knife and stab him, forcing him to flee.
Like, it was wild.
Yeah. Then Reese like finds out that May and Cass, her little sister and her cousin, like have a cruel prank that they like pull on her. But then it turns into Reese getting in an argument with Emily.
Yep.
So, and then later Emily confides that she is unhappy and plans to ask Elliot for help in filing a divorce from Nolan.
Yes. And then we swing back around like Courtney's investigation and these timelines, like it felt like a count up and a count down sort of at the same time. So Courtney's investigation takes her to Daniel Snake Boy Predator's house. And
I just think of like Snake Boy, I just think of Rob.
If Rob is like Mario, then Daniel is Wario. Daniel is the Wario to Rob's Mario, right?
Yes.
So she goes there, breaks the fuck in, and she finds Reese's bloody sweatshirt in his house. Now, what's so cute and fun about this, though, is that Detective Evans, of course, our lovely Detective Evans, finds her there and says that Daniel, he has a solid alibi. He fled the state hours before the murders actually took place. He ran out of there. So, can't be Daniel. Daniel couldn't have done it. But here's the thing, though. Reese is still missing.
Yeah.
Reese is still missing.
Right. And so to push Elliot further into suspicion.
Yep.
And this is just wild because Elliot is Courtney's husband. And like, I feel like before this, she had no reason to like suspect something was going on, right?
Literally
like,
nothing.
or like not to trust him, but like all this evidence, she's like, what is going on? And I feel like she's like, you know, trying to figure it out. And the only one that's able to, because she is like the stable adult. But she finds on Elliot's iPad, because that's where we find all the information, a search for Pearl Lake depth, which is the lake right around them. And also finds a post from Elliot's Facebook account on the Help Find Kylie Matthews page. Kylie Matthews, which, if you remember, is the daughter that went missing 5 years ago. And this post from Elliot claims that Reese is the missing girl and actually gives the cottage number.
Yep. And because Reese and Kylie have very, very, very similar identifying features, we might have mentioned that, but it's like that, you know, those situations where you talk about like MO, like, you know, do they have a specific type? Like, what are they looking for? And it is convincing enough that grieving parents who are flooded with hope for the first time in years maybe spark a wildfire that they can't take back. So we pop back over to Reese's perspective, which is our final flashback before everything kind of comes together. And Sam Matthews, who is the father of
Kylie. But real quick.
Yeah.
It's also when Courtney realizes that it's not Elliot. That like Cass and May made the post as a prank.
Yes.
Because they're young and they didn't understand like the actual danger that would come out of it. I mean, nobody would think that this actual danger would have come out of it.
No, but that's also a crazy prank to play. Wild. And they also were the ones who took the pictures of Reese in the bikini. Like, we find that out too. But so now we're back in Reese's perspective. Sam Matthews, the father of Kylie, you know, took the girl's post to heart, believed wholeheartedly that Reese was his daughter Kylie, and forces his way inside. Emily and Nolan tried to protect Reese, and Sam bludgeons them to death using Wyatt's baseball bat and kidnaps Reese, thinking that it's his daughter Kylie. And now he genuinely believes this is Kylie. Like, he is in a blind rage, blind grief. He is fully dissociated from reality at this point. And when he's taking her, basically he's like, you're mine. I'm doing everything to protect you. These people are keeping me from you. Like, how could you do this? And Reese is trying to like level with him and be like, I am not your daughter. Like, you are mistaken. Like, these are my parents. And it was bananas. And so then Detective Evans, who ends up like getting pinged off by what Courtney has been discovering along the way, goes to the Matthews house and finds Reese in a basement crawl space. And when he finds her, like, before we get there, in Reese's perspective in this flashback, we basically see the fallout between the Matthews, because Sam brings her home and says, I found Kylie. And Joanna's like, this isn't our daughter.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, it is. Hello, she's here. Congratulations, you have your daughter back. And she's like, this is not our daughter. What are you talking about? And Sam has the devastating realization that it's not Kylie. But then he loses his mind because he's like, well, I just killed 2 people, so she's got to stay here because we can't let her go because she knows too much. So we went from I rescued my daughter to double homicide, kidnapping real quick, real fast.
Wild. And so Reese is rescued, and Sam and Joanna are arrested. And while they're at the hospital with Reese, and Reese tells the police that she saw Greta leaving flowers on an unmarked grave in the cemetery, because that's where like Daniel and Reese had their little like date, was in this like haunted cemetery. And so Greta, who is the manager at the resort that they are staying at, I don't
think we did.
But Greta confesses she saw a man with a snake tattoo burying a body there 5 years ago. And she believed it was Daniel burying Kylie, and she just helped cover the grave to protect him because she wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Yep. And then at the end, a big but here at the end, as we said at the beginning, but at the end, we find out that Mr. Detective Evans, Mr. Good Guy here, has a matching snake tattoo with his former best friend and resort employee, Daniel. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So 5 years prior, Detective Evans may or may not have accidentally just like stumbled into Kylie in the middle of the night and killed her. And he was the one who Greta saw burying the body. And so he just plans to frame Daniel continually for it to keep up his stellar #1 cop, beautiful, incredible, wonderful, amazing, never been done before, never been seen before reputation.
Yeah, I just think it was interesting because I feel I was so into it at first. And then this big reveal, I was like, oh, like it made me kind of want to go back and reread it.
100%.
And I think that's what she does really well.
Yes.
Is gets you hooked, tells you the story along the way, like gives you so many red herrings. And then at the end, you're like, wait, what?
Exactly.
Okay. Like my thought process wouldn't have got me there. Like I probably would have been like, oh, the detective is shady. But I don't know if it would have connected him, like, to killing Kylie. Yeah.
No, I agree. Which is wild. Now, I will say, like I said, my song was very, like, angsty, a very angsty teenager. But the line from, like, the chorus was really just, like, for Reese specifically, like to be hurt, to feel lost, to be left out in the dark, to be kicked when you're down, to feel like you've been pushed around. Like that really is just Reese in a nutshell during this. And I don't know, it just the song, like the lyrics are kind of repetitive at this point. Like it kind of goes back, back to the exact same like thought process. Like, do you want to be someone else? Are you sick of feeling so left out? No one ever lied straight to your face and no one ever stabbed you in the back. Like Reese talking to her mom and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it just really struck me as a song that she would listen to in her teenage rage, stage of life. So that's why I ended up picking the song for it.
Yeah, no, I love that. My song ends with, "We're doing wrong. We've all done wrong. If we do no wrong, I'm sure we would be gone." And I feel like, too, that's like, we wouldn't have a story here if everybody
Yep.
was good. So
Yeah.
everybody did wrong, and it's just unfortunately going to continue in hopefully just in books, but life is life. But yeah, the song is definitely a vibe.
Yeah, I'm excited to listen to it.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much for turning the pages with us this week. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, and join our newsletter to keep up with everything on the other side of the page.
Yes, and please, please, please drop a review and a 5-star rating of the podcast on your preferred platform and share us with your bookish besties.
And once again, we are on our summer schedule, so we will see you in 2 weeks when we get to make a splash with a summer romance.
Yes, we cannot wait to talk about a fun summer romance, and we will see you on June 17th to do just that. So forever and always,
keep reading with kindness.
bye everyone.
See ya.